Hey you, you're super.
Hey everyone, Merch Hunter Ricky back, and it's been a while. I took a little bit of a break. I had some family stuff happen, and for the most part, I've been studying other YouTubers to really get some good techniques down and really understand how I'm going to evolve my content going forward. That being said, let's talk about One Piece chapters 1072 and 1073 because I've been saying this about most of the chapters since 1058, but this is the most wild string of chapters that we've had. For the most part, I don't think I've ever felt so intimidated by just a couple panels. So right away, I'm just going to clear the air. I'm not going to review the chapters because I feel like that section of YouTube is in better hands, and I'm doing reviews and recaps of Fabricant 100 right now. So while other people have already blazed the trail of One Piece chapters, I'm just going to stick with talking about the chapters as a whole. 1072, we see Bonnie take out Vegapunk's age. We see Vegapunk warn Bonnie that the reason why he can't tell her that he killed Kuma and turned him into a cyborg and all that is because it'll hurt her. However, some beeping in another room alerts Bonnie to what we assume are going to be Kuma's memories inside of like a paw, because we know Kuma has the paw fruit. He has the ability to turn intangible concepts tangible, right? And she seems to know a lot about the power herself because that's her father. We don't know what age he was when he got the devil fruit. We don't know how he acquired the devil fruit in the first place, but for the most part, it does seem to us, and or at least to me, and some other people too, that Bonnie knows that that's not Kuma's pain in that bubble, that those are Kuma's memories. So, like Tekken said recently, I'm assuming we're gonna get Kuma's memory arc, and I'm all the ready for it. I don't remember when. It was either at the end of Thriller Bark or at the end of Sabaody, the first time at Sabaody, that we were told that Kuma has lived the most checkered life out of anyone in the show. That's what the narrator straight up said. I really don't think I'm inventing that. Pretty sure he said that, right? From there, we have the Straw Hats, mainly Zoro and Brook right now. They were interacting with CP0 the most. Kaku was sent to the ship, he awakened, and he fought Zoro. Unfortunately, awakening stocks are very down for zones, because unless you're Luffy, you're not really a threat. I'm assuming someone like on the level of Sengoku awakening might be a troublesome threat, but for now, Lucci and Kaku have not really lived up to the hype of an awakening. I mean, Don Quixote and Katakuri, they had some good awakenings, and it took a lot to beat them, you know? They also showed a different type of level of understanding and mastery of their power, whereas Lucci and Kaku are just kind of like, rah, I'm awakened, snap, snap, claw, claw, neck twist, you know? And that didn't really do a lot from them. And then at the end of 1072, we get a massive reveal that Stussy is some sort of vampire lady clone of someone named Buckingham Stussy. And in the next chapter, 1073, we get the information in the lore bomb of that being Weevil's mother. So, that also, she was labeled as Mad's resident freeloader, a self-proclaimed scientist. So, either Weevil is a clone of Whitebeard, and that's what she means by ask Vegapunk, that is Whitebeard's son if you doubt his lineage. However, I'm not really in the camp of Weevil being a clone. I genuinely think that Weevil is either a failed Seraphim in an attempt to put two lineage factors, Buckingham Stussy and Edward Newgate, into one person as a child, or maybe it's just straight up Whitebeard's child. Like, he impregnated Stussy, and while they were on the Rocks crew, she had a child. She most likely took him into hiding. Look what happened to Ace, right? So, that being said, this child in Weevil could be a legitimate heir to the throne of Whitebeard. Now, I know Whitebeard no longer has a throne. However, if he's really truly the son of Whitebeard, he technically does the inheritance should be his. Although Whitebeard did not declare it as such, maybe he never knew about his child, and he really cares about his home island of Sphinx, so, who's to say what's going to happen there? Will Marco go back and get Weevil? Will Stussy convince him to do so? Will we get a Rock's pirate bomb lore soon? Because it seems like everything is falling into the right place. Now, also in 1073, we got a massive reveal that the Gorosei Saint J. Garcia Saturn, the one that has like a cane and the dreads, is on his way to Egghead with Kizaru and a fleet, an armada of Navy ships, Marine ships. That's not good. I've been saying this for a couple videos now. There is gonna be a problem. I don't want the Straw Hats to have an easy time getting off Egghead Island, and so far, I have been pleased with what's going down. Vegapunk being declared by the narrator as soon to be missing, very big. Does that mean going inside the bubble will cause him to become missing? Or does that mean Vegapunk's about to just straight up, voila, vanish like he did earlier in Egghead Island when he met Luffy and he said to go up to Labo Phase or whatever, Moreover, Stussy dropping onto the Thousand Sunny. Will she actually board the ship and be an actual ally? Because one thing about a double, moreover triple agent, is can you really trust someone who is so deeply ingrained in everything? The underground, CP0, Vegapunk's whatever he's doing, Stussy holds a lot of power. I'm talking the clone, not the old woman right now. But the clone of Stussy has a lot of power right now. She is integral to knowing what is happening, the mystery of the Rock's crew, and moreover, the inner workings of most of the factions we are not aware of. Like, how they work, that is to say. So, we could get a bomb drop about the underground, like the underworld, and how they all work. I kind of want to see that weird Undertaker clown guy come back, and what's he about, Moreover, the Rocks Pirates. We're overdue for some lore about that, so it has to be coming soon. Garp going to Hachinosu, and now her being a clone of a former member of the Rocks Pirates. That's very interesting. Does the old woman of Stussy, does the regular body of Stussy have that weird vampire power, or is this given to the clone via unknown method? Moreover, what are we going to do with that Gorosei? What if he's very strong? I mean, it's assumed that he's going there just to recollect the Seraphim, because they're probably too much of an asset to be given back to Vegapunk, I've said that too many times, let's not use that word again, but to be given to Vegapunk as an ally against the world government, I don't think the Gorosei are going to stand for that, let alone Emu stand for that. So we can assume one reason he's going to Egghead Island is to reclaim the Seraphim. Now, is he strong? Can he fight? A lot of people have been talking about this. Many YouTubers have been making a video about it. I am a little bit late, but hey, that's just how things work. I am of the camp that he is going to have the hands. I don't think that you can just become a Gorosei and become 5 people that basically control the world on behalf of Eam without being extremely strong. I don't think for a second that we're going to get like a one-shot stomp of a Gorosei. That just wouldn't really make sense. I can see Luffy hitting him and him like eating the punch like, now you've gone and done it, Straw Hat. And, maybe he'll like rip off his suit and be buff, or he'll have some crazy devil fruit along the lines of maybe Green Bull or a Fujitora, where they control an aspect of nature to an over intimidating degree. Like Green Bull with nature and Fujitora with gravity, and although they're not the same class of devil fruit, we might be having some sort of crazy power like that. He might have the wind devil fruit that people have been wanting so badly, or he just might be the more proactive member of the group. Because if one left, why didn't all 5 leave? Also, I believe this was in 1072. My chapters are a little bit jumbled right now. Kuma is at the red line. If Kuma is just straight up fighting at the red line, that's not good, because at some point the Revolutionary Army will be made aware of said situation. When will Sabo come back into the picture? When will Vivi come back into the picture? These are my main questions, because everything is starting to fall into line of a large puzzle with just about 20 pieces missing, right? If this is a 1,000 piece puzzle, to say that we only have 20 pieces left is kind of freaky, huh? It's not easy to grasp, but when you think about it, we only have a handful of questions left to be answered before we can figure out either what the One Piece is or start approaching the final war at the end of the story, because we are there. If Kid is in Elbaf, and we know what's in Elbaf, the books from the Library of Ohara, it's safe to be said that after this Gorosei makes his debut in front of the Straw Hats, and, you know, if they don't even know who the Gorosei are, they're just going to see him as some old man. But unless they've heard of the Gorosei, because some people are saying that everyone in the world knows who the Gorosei are, and I don't think that's the case. I think that Kizaru is going to come off the ship first, and he's going to fight. If he struggles with Zoro, I think we'll finally see the Gorosei, Saint J. Garcia, Saturn. I think we've only seen him really sitting down with the cane. I could be wrong, but let's say we've only seen him sitting down like that. I cut my knuckle somehow. Oh well. When we see him stand up, that's going to be a big deal. And if he starts acting, getting physical with the Straw Hats, who knows what he knows, how his power level will scale. Because although power scaling is not a big deal in One Piece, it pretty much goes like this. You either have the power to stop said foe or you don't. And there can be X amount of reasons why. I mean, realistically, Crocodile low-diffed Luffy back in Alabasta. However, Robin stepped in, saved him, gave Luffy the chance to learn the water weakness and to beat Crocodile, right? Luffy then used blood-coated fist to beat the crap out of him. And none of that would have happened had Robin not saved him. Are we looking at something like maybe Bonnie or a Stella not Stella, one of the satellites of Vegapunk are going to sacrifice themselves for the Straw Hats? Because we got 7. And one's already taken a massive L. My favorite one, Atlas. You know, it's only a matter of time before more problems start to snowball onto the Straw Hats before this becomes a situation. And you got to start calling the Grand Fleet. You got to call for Daddy Shanks. You got to get help from somewhere, right? It doesn't really look like the Vegapunk clones are equipped for fighting. And me personally, I don't think there was a traitor who let down the protective dome or whatever. I think that was a calculated effort by Stussy herself somehow. I don't know how, but if she can do a Kami E power of the remaining image or whatever, who's to say that she can't make it last longer to the point where no one would question where she is at any given time? Moreover, if she's a clone, can she just split herself into longer standing images using Kami E? We don't know the extent of her power, so it's really not, you know, it's not like out of this realm. She already takes the appearance of Morrigan from the Darkstalkers series, of which I am very good at those games. I know just about every single move and every combo path for every character. And since Capcom Fighting Evolution came out, I feel like Oda's been dying to drop this character. He loves his fighting game characters. You can see that in some chapter cover spreads. Little Oars Jr. shares the same date and color scheme as Blanca from Street Fighter. Look at I'm trying to remember his name, the fishman from Wano, Kawamatsu. He also has Blanca's fighting style mixed with E Honda, right? And I believe his sword's name is a style or a move in sumo wrestling. So to say that Oda is not influenced by fighting game characters would be an incorrect statement, because he completely and clearly is. I can also name a list of people. Look at Zoro's scar. That's literally how Sagat has his scar, right? But that's neither here nor there. Basically, all I'm saying is there is a lot of problems mounting in front of the Straw Hats right now. And at some point, there's going to be so many problems that it's going to snowball and hit the Straw Hats so hard that they're going to have to reevaluate a lot of things. This is definitely like a harken back to Sabaody when they got destroyed the first time. And they had to reevaluate for 2 years. Now, I'm not saying we're going to get another time skip, but what I think is going to happen, and I definitely could be wrong on this, but so far my light predictions have not been completely wrong. So I hope that so many problems hit the Straw Hat that they have to make a crazy and hard decision. Do they leave someone behind? Do they stop aligning with Vegapunk? Do they ditch him? Do they drop him off the boat? Do they tell Bonnie to take a hike? Do they leave her on Egghead Island while she's still in the memory world? there's a lot of bad things that could happen in a very short amount of time. Does a Straw Hat get critically injured? Does a Straw Hat get kidnapped by the Gorosei? These are a lot of good questions of things that can probably happen. Has a buster call been called on Egghead Island? And just because they don't want the technology of Egghead Island to be destroyed doesn't mean they won't do it. I genuinely think if push comes to shove, they will wipe that island off the face of the earth. Now, if that sky laser beam is still recharging, has a cooldown, whatever, maybe it won't happen soon. But, and this is a very big but, if my theory right now is correct, every one of the Straw Hats' allies has barked up the wrong tree currently on Egghead Island. That would be Stussy, the 7 bodies of Vegapunk, and if there is some mysterious force who lowered the Frontier Dome, right? If there is, that's going to be, one more wrench in the scheme of things that's going to cause the cog wheels to stop turning for a second. Because right now, like I said, behind us we have CP0, even though they're asleep. We don't know if we can fully trust that Stussy clone. In front of us we got a Gorosei, an Admiral, and a bunch of Vice Admirals heading towards Egghead Island. And I genuinely think this is where the Straw Hats will be fully and completely tested. It's not like the Grand Fleet knows this is happening, right? So I don't expect the Grand Fleet 9th hour appearance, and I would not bank on that either. There are 2 things I can see happening here. If they Kuda burst over the fleet, right? I'm thinking Kizaru can still jump up in the air and injure or harm one of the members of the Straw Hat, if not just break the Thousand Sunny in a certain area. Just because it's got Atom Wood doesn't mean it's going to be completely impenetrable forever, right? Now, we also got a bit of foreshadowing back in Wano. Frankie's Bounty is just straight up the Thousand Sunny. So, with what looks like a fat naval battle on our hands, because let's be real, how are the Straw Hats going to get out of this unscathed? It's not going to be easy. I don't want it to be easy. If they try the Kudo burst route, like they always have been, tried and true method, I want it to finally fail. It's not like I want the Straw Hats to fail. No raid will fail theory here. But what I need is a little bit of struggle. Egghead Island has been lacking that. The only antagonist of Egghead Island, to be real, has been Bonnie stopping Luffy from punching that Kuma police DLC. Like, the CP0 is taken care of right now. They're wrapped up, handed over in a package to the Straw Hats. They can do whatever they want with them. They are knocked out asleep. Right? Logically, they're probably just going to leave them on the island and go. But if Vegapunk, Main Body, and Bonnie are nowhere to be seen, they're going to get stuck, and they're going to be looking for them, and by the time they find them, if they do find them, guess who's going to be here? Kizaru and Saint J. Garcia. And this is where I think finally all the snowballing effects of what's going on will, pow, smack the Straw Hats. And with that being said, I think that we finally are in a point to where we will see the Straw Hats finally struggle again. Wano was a struggle, sure. Whole Cake Island, definitely a scary moment, huh? Zo, pretty freaky, but nothing as freaky as an Admiral and a Gorosei teaming up on the Straw Hats and low diffing them. Now, maybe they won't low diff them. Maybe it'll be a good fight and Luffy will fight Saint J. Garcia and things will happen. Who knows? Maybe he's got like an armor of Sea Prism Stone. I really like that, actually. Who knows what's going to happen. But all I'm saying is right now things are not looking good for the Straw Hats, and they haven't been for quite a while. And honestly, I'm looking forward to see what Oda drops on us next. I think the next chapter is due in like 13 days or something like that. So we got time. We got a lot of time to theorize. And for the most part, I think I've run out of things to say. Oh, I really like the way Bonnie's Devil Fruit works. Just thought I'd slip that in there at the end. I think that's very cool. Distorted futures and whatnot. Age skewering, gems is your age. You probably pick them up Sonic style and cash them in to get your age back. She said her power doesn't work on living things indefinitely. That's a great Devil Fruit. I love that. So I've pretty much exhausted all my ideas. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with anything I said this little video. My name is Merch Hunter Ricky, and it's very good to be a YouTuber, and I really enjoy this. Thank you for all the views, the likes, the comments, the subscribers. I appreciate it all. Have a good night, everyone.